Hi, welcome to another edition of Around Town, a program that highlights the events in North Andover and around the Merrimack Valley. Today my guest is Farmer Dave. He's going to show us some wonderful vegetables that he has grown in his garden. Dave, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
You're welcome. What do you have for us this time?
Well, I just brought an assortment of what's going in our CSA shares and things that we're bringing to the farmers market this week. For example, Everything was grown on our farm, so you can see we're kind of at peak season right now.
Really?
And we have a good variety of products.
Excellent year for growing too. I mean, between the humidity and the rain we've had.
Yeah, it was kind of dry, kind of in June going into the beginning of July, and we were irrigating a lot. Almost all of our fields we can irrigate. But since mid-July, we have not had to irrigate at all. The rains have been consistent, and like with our CSA, oftentimes we'll close membership because we can only, we only grow so much. But because these rains have been kind of pushing things, we've kept the subscriptions open, so membership's still open for anybody that wants to get involved.
So you can still join in then?
Yep, we've gone through 10 weeks of the main season. And we'll keep having the CSA running right until the middle of December.
That's excellent. How big is the membership, Dave?
It's about 1,000 members.
That's
so about 1,000
really,
families.
really good.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this?
Well, farming or the CSA particularly?
Both. So we'll start with farming first.
So yeah, I mean, I grew up here in the Merrimack Valley and worked on local farms in my youth. I graduated from St. Anselm College with a degree in philosophy. Then I entered the Peace Corps, where I served as an agricultural extensionist up in the Andes. And then came back home in 1997 at the age of 23, started my own farming business. And I've been self-employed ever since.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
the CSA I started about 10 years ago. I've been going to area farmers markets for, gosh, at least 18 years probably.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's doing great then too.
People keep eating.
Right, right. You must employ a lot of people though.
We do. Peak season, we're up around 50 or 60 employees.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
wow. There are some interesting vegetables here. Really interesting. Things that I don't even know what they are. Like I asked you before the show, excuse me, what this was. Okay, and it looks like a peach to me. And it's called a what?
donut peach.
Oh yeah, it does look like a donut.
Yeah.
And you said it's sweet?
It's sweet. It's also known as a Saturn peach, if it looks like that kind of the rings of Saturn.
Wow.
Peaches originated in China, and they've been bred over the years, over the centuries really. And this variety has been bred to have that small shape. It's got a nice small pit. I find it less juicy, but very sweet, so it's cleaner to eat, and it's more snack size.
Right.
Somebody that doesn't wants to have a small snack.
Right.
With this little donut peach, it's a perfect size, I think.
Perfect size
It's
snack.
a limited season. We only have them for about 3 weeks. We started picking these maybe about a week ago. This is a white flesh variety. We also have a yellow flesh variety, and another one that the skin is a light green in color. And we also grow the regular peaches as well, and nectarines, and we just started harvesting apples actually today.
That's right, apples. That's right. It's apple season
This
coming up.
variety here is called Zest Star. I just picked it this morning.
Zest Star?
Zest Star.
Wow. And what kind of a taste does that have?
Somewhat similar to a Macintosh, a little bit tartar.
Yeah.
Some of your earlier varieties are a little tart.
That's a nice looking apple.
Yeah, thanks. We also started picking ginger golds just today also.
Wow.
And this one here is a Jersey Mac, also known as an early Mac.
Look at that.
Yeah,
nice,
beautiful
nice
color on that.
apple. Really.
And the apple season is just beginning.
Right.
We also do a lot of pick your own apples now and school tours that we just started doing that last year. I used to kind of be so busy we wouldn't want to let the public into the farm because we're just busy growing and harvesting.
Right, right.
But people just kept asking, can we come to the farm? Can we pick some apples? Can we bring our class
People
there?
love that, yeah.
So we started doing that last year, and it's going quite well.
That's
We
excellent.
also started offering pick your own blueberries this year.
Blueberries,
Our blueberry harvest starts about the second week of July, and I planted some late varieties as well. This is a patch I planted about 10 years ago, and the last variety we're usually picking right up until almost September 15th or September 20th.
Wow.
So
yeah.
2 full months of blueberry harvest.
That's nice. That's like when you do with corn too, right? When
Yep.
they plant corn early and then late, so you get a late harvest.
Yep, we'll be picking corn basically until we get a hard frost, right into October.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Blackberries, you got some blackberries over there.
These here look fantastic.
We also have raspberries, and raspberries we'll start harvesting. Go ahead, enjoy it.
It's perfect. It's a perfect raspberry.
That one's a blackberry. But the
I mean
raspberries,
blackberry. Excuse me.
raspberries, we start some in like an unheated greenhouse, and we'll start picking those now. I think this year we started around June 10th, a good 2 weeks before we would normally harvest, and then we have some late varieties inside as well. So we almost have a complete harvest of raspberries from almost the middle of June till the end of October. I mean, there's hills and valleys, of course, with peak varieties and a few little gaps here and there. But
That's nice, really.
yeah, you've got a yellow Shiro plum over there, that yellow one.
This one here.
Yeah, and then this is a more traditional black variety with a red flesh.
I tried this last week, I think. Sue, that works here, had them, and they tasted very, very tasty. I enjoyed it. I never had one before.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Shiro.
That's right,
Shiro. It's a Japanese variety.
Wow.
And this is probably our best plum year in about 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, we're a little on the northern fringe of plum production. The cold winters sometimes wipe out the buds.
Yeah.
But this year, like I said, we're just having a wonderful harvest of all the stone fruit. The
That is
peaches, plums,
fantastic.
nectarines, the donut peaches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also all the vegetables too. I mean, we all grow different heirloom varieties. This here is a black variety called Black Prince. It's kind of a black flesh inside. Your more traditional tomatoes here, grape tomatoes, regular cherry tomatoes. These are one of my favorite cherry tomato varieties here. We also have started growing in the past few years some of these more oddball. It's kind of like a large grape tomato.
Yeah, it looks like a big grape.
Johnny Selected Seeds up in Maine, they actually they have a breeding program, so they bred these varieties
So they
to look like that.
breed different varieties of vegetables and.
Correct. They'll just cross pollinate things and
That is
try to
different.
get different traits. People have been doing that for centuries.
Really?
We continue to do it today.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Look at the size of this pepper. This pepper is huge. Look at this. Unbelievable. That's a meal in itself.
Yep.
That is beautiful.
We grow a lot of peppers also, many different varieties. And,
Really?
I mean, here you have the green cherry bomb and the red cherry bomb.
Oh.
These are very popular with the Italians. So
Right.
They stuff it with cheese and mozzarella.
They do.
Prosciutto.
Prosciutto and cheese. Yes,
Exactly.
definitely. Yep.
Pickle it. You can have it all winter.
Yeah. Wow.
Eggplant. We grow several different varieties of eggplant as well. This is your more traditional black Italian eggplant. Over there you have a long Asian eggplant.
And they taste the same, you said, right?
Similar.
I wonder, we make eggplant parmesan with the regular eggplant.
Right.
I wonder if you can do that with this, if it would taste the same.
It would be very similar. It would have a different look, obviously.
Really?
Yeah. I did some work over in the Republic of Georgia, up in the Caucasus Mountains, and over there they grow a lot of that long variety of eggplant as well, and they'll cut it in strips and kind of grill it lightly, so you have this nice long strip, but you can see it's only going to be about 1.5 inches wide.
Right.
And then they layer it with a walnut paste and roll it up.
That sounds
And then
tasty.
bake it.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
Now these grow on a vine, don't they?
No, it's a plant.
It is a plant?
Yeah, it's a plant that will grow up, 2 to 5 feet tall normally.
I had people that lived up the street from me. I don't know if they were from Vietnam, but they used to grow this vegetable on a vine, and it looked like a grapevine. And these things like this would hang down.
Yep.
I never knew what they were.
I know what you mean, and the name escapes me right now. It's a type of
I thought that was the
cucumber,
same thing.
Bitter melon.
Okay, yeah,
Probably a
okay.
bitter melon. Yeah.
Wow, I never knew what it was. It was amazing just seeing all these
the
things.
length of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they were just hanging everywhere. It's like, I said, what are those?
Yeah.
Didn't know what they were.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, if you travel the world, you'll start to see all the different types and varieties that we oftentimes don't see here in America.
Really?
And I mean, each of them has a slightly different twist to the flavor. And it makes eating more fun, I think, having all this different variety.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like here, you see, you get your traditional summer squash, your traditional zucchini, but then here you have, the more Lebanese type of kusa squash, which oddly enough, we sell a lot of these to Central Americans. For some reason, it's popular in Lebanon, but it's also popular in Honduras and El Salvador.
Huh.
I don't know how it jumped from one part of the world to another like that, but
Really?
it did. Here you have a golden zucchini. We also have a patty pan squash right here. All those are different squashes. And what my wife loves to grill, and she'll take all the different squash and slice it into strips and just put some olive oil and salt and pepper on it, throw it on the grill, and I will just OD on it, basically.
That sounds good.
It's delicious.
I'm not a squash lover, but the way you're describing it now it sounds like really tasty, real tasty.
But it's great because, I mean, this time of year, there's just so much to harvest and so much to enjoy. But we've also expanded our growing season so much. So we're actually, with all the greenhouses now, we actually start harvesting greens the beginning of March. You know, we'll seed some things in the greenhouses like spinach and kale in October and overwinter it in those greenhouses. In some greenhouses, we'll seed mid-January. So then by the beginning of March, when oftentimes it's still, you know, snowy outside, we're harvesting all these beautiful, fresh, tender, tasty, healthy greens.
Well, that's nice.
In addition, we're storing the potatoes and the carrots and the beets and the apples, all these things out of storage, and then all the things out of the greenhouses. We'll usually start harvesting cucumbers out of the greenhouses in April. Here you can see one of our greenhouses here. Wow. You know, greenhouse cucumbers growing right here. And again, we'll start harvesting those in April. So we'll start harvesting cucumbers in April, and then start harvesting cucumbers out of the field in late June, and we'll go right into October sometimes harvesting. So we've just expanded that growing season, so that we're harvesting for the CSA, for the farm stands, for the farmers markets from the 1st of March right until the middle of December.
That is incredible. It really is.
Yep. We have 6 of these larger greenhouses. They're 200 feet long. Wow. So we can grow, here's a shot of them. And you can see this, it looks like a pond here in front of the greenhouses. It had just rained. And so that, to me, shows how those greenhouses are also helping to keep those crops very healthy.
Right.
Because too much rain and humidity will oftentimes cause a lot of disease problems and things like that.
Right.
Well, in those greenhouses, those things are not just ready earlier, but they're also healthier. They're growing in the same soil.
Right.
But we're protecting it from the environment.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Excellent.
Yep. And right next to it is the blueberry patch. Huh. People have been coming all summer to pick blueberries right there. I planted those about 10 years ago, and you know, they're just gorgeous.
How many acres?
We grow on about 100 acres.
Nice.
Here you can see a shot of the blueberries here.
Nice shot.
With our barn here, and we've just put up this new building in the past couple of years.
And where is the farm located?
This one is in Dracut. We also have fields in Westford and Tewksbury.
Nice. I'd like to come
And this
visit
building
sometimes.
has solar panels on the roof.
Nice.
To produce the electricity, and we have a geothermal heating and cooling system. So we're trying to be as green as possible. You know, I like to think we're harvesting the sun, growing all these different things.
Right.
And then we're harvesting the sun with those solar panels to cool them so they'll last a little bit longer.
Right, right.
Here's one of our lettuce fields and radishes. This picture was taken probably in late May. And you can see just all the crops growing, you know, in their rows.
Yeah.
Get the irrigation system set up here. Obviously, we don't need that right now.
No.
But it's there when we need it. Here's some of the ginger gold apples. You know, like you see right here. Where did I put that one? Right here. Daisy, right there, growing.
Wow.
We planted this orchard here in this picture probably about 6 years ago. It's considered a high-density orchard where they're on dwarf trees. And because they're a smaller tree, you get less leaf matter around the apples. So it's a drier, much like in the greenhouse I mentioned, you know, too much rain can cause damage.
Yeah.
Well, when you have a big apple tree, the light and the wind can't get in there. Whereas on these smaller dwarf trees, you can see the light and the wind get in here more easily.
Right.
And that helps us to grow them more organically without the use of as many pesticide sprays, because the tree's drier. The wind goes through it, the sun gets into it, and it's a much better growing environment. So to a certain extent, we've adapted the growing environment to grow more sustainably. And you can see, but because it's a dwarf tree, and you can see such a heavy load of apples, we've also had to put up these posts and wires, and that's so that if we get a hurricane in September, with that heavy crop load, a heavy wind could push the trees right over.
Right.
So we just put up this little support system to make sure that they
That's
can't.
a smart idea, sure.
Yep.
Wow, look at that. That's a good crop right there.
It is a beautiful crop. We grow thousands of bushels of apples now.
Wow, that's nice.
And we also invested in a new system this past winter, control, what do you call it? CA, controlled atmosphere, which is a type of refrigeration where we can naturally remove the oxygen out of the space.
Yeah.
So we have these plastic bins with a special lid.
Yeah.
And the apples, even though they're being stored at like 35 degrees, they're still maturing and giving off gases like ethylene gas.
Yeah.
But with this special bin, the ethylene and oxygen can leave that space inside that bin, that big box of 15 bushels, and basically bring the atmosphere down to a level where it's a higher carbon dioxide level and less oxygen, and it's almost like a suspended animation. So you see this apple here?
Yeah.
This was harvested last fall.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So,
wow.
I mean, this was just harvested.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was just harvested now.
Yeah.
Now we're in August. This was harvested last October. We put it in that new special type of storage where, again, it's just that special bin in the refrigeration inside that building you saw. And it's still nice and crisp today.
That is amazing. Wow.
So
you can actually have fresh vegetables or fruit after a year. It's like, that's incredible.
Exactly. So, I mean, we've not only expanded our season with the use of the greenhouses, but also with these new storage technologies.
That is amazing.
Yep. And
That
again,
must be costly, though.
It's a big investment initially.
Yeah.
But because I put on those solar panels, it's actually very little energy.
Goodness.
You know, if I didn't put on the solar panels, running that
costly,
refrigeration can get expensive. But in the winter, running refrigeration is not that expensive because it's cold out.
Right.
So relatively, when you think of it going through the winter, it's not all that expensive. And with those special bins, it's just that certain membrane that lets certain gases out and not other gases
That is
in.
unbelievable.
It's using what we've learned in modern science to be able to have this beautiful product.
That's incredible.
So much
it
of the
really
year.
is.
Yep.
Me.
And we still grow the traditional crops like all the corn. You've got the corn here in this image, one of our fields. You get corn that we harvested this morning next to you.
Right here.
Everybody loves our sweet corn.
Oh yeah, look at this.
It's some beautiful ears there.
Look at that. Wow, nice. Real nice.
So yeah, we stay plenty busy.
I guess you do.
Kale has become the superfood.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
But I mean, if I look back 10, 12 years ago, I grew very little kale because nobody really wanted it.
Well, yeah.
Now I grow almost 1.5 acres of kale.
Well, it tastes like seaweed
And
me.
Well, but it's got so many
But I
nutrients
heard it's
in
very
it.
good for you.
It's super, and we keep our soils nice and healthy. So if you think about it, it's a superfood. Well, how is it grown also determines how super that superfood is.
Right.
Because we, focus on the health of our soils, that superfood grown by us, I believe, is even more super.
Yeah, really.
Superer.
Really.
And we grow several different varieties. Here you have what's called a red Russian kale. This is a more traditional green winter boar kale. This one is a Tuscan kale. You'll find that in Italy, obviously. We like to grow this one. It's your more traditional one around here because it withstands the cold of the winter much better. So this one we can usually get into the beginning of November, and then the cold kind of wipes it out. Whereas this one will oftentimes get to mid-December. And we can put that in an unheated greenhouse, again, without a heating system, but just that, that controlled environment of the plastic.
Yeah.
We can get this to continue to grow right through the winter. I mean, I'm eating this stuff in January, February.
Really?
CSM members start eating it again in March.
Wow.
And you can see that here we are. This past winter it was a pretty snowy winter. This is some of our crew helping to put up the greenhouses that you see here.
Yeah.
And these greenhouses were the metal was all fabricated up in Quebec where they have some pretty heavy snows.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure these things are not going to collapse if we get some really heavy snows.
Right.
So they're very well built.
Yeah.
I actually, when I mentioned I worked in the Republic of Georgia,
Right.
I did that for 4 winters, and my focus there was winter greenhouse vegetable growing in greenhouses. So, I mean, I taught it over there, expanding on it here. And again, our CSA members would like us to be providing their food year-round. So we're getting pretty close to that. We're now providing it, I think, 41 or 42 weeks of the year.
Look at that.
So we kind of take off.
Shy of 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Me. That's really,
And
really
a
good.
lot of the CSA members find that, in those last couple weeks in December of the CSA, we really load them up so that they can put things in storage themselves.
Right.
Gives us a break for those 10 weeks.
Right.
But a lot of them are finding they've got apples and squash and things in the refrigerator, carrots and beets, that they're still eating right into February. Then they pretty much run out, and a lot of them will freeze things as well.
Right.
They run out, at some point in February, and then the CSA starts again in the first week of March.
That's unbelievable.
So yeah, we've developed a pretty good system that seems to work for the farmer and for the people that eat food.
Really?
You eat food, right?
Can you tell?
And our melons have been very popular as well.
Nice. They're nice.
Yeah, we have a canary melon here, a regular cantaloupe. This is a personal size red watermelon. This one here is a yellow flesh watermelon.
So inside of that watermelon there, what color is it?
Yellow.
I have never, ever seen that.
Let me cut it open for you.
Yeah, please. I want to see this. I've never seen a yellow.
Are you allowed to eat on camera?
Sure you can. I'll let you. Wow, look at this. I've never, ever seen that.
There's a napkin for you.
Does it taste like a regular
Well,
watermelon?
you tell me. Sounds juicy.
Real juicy. It's sweet.
Yep.
Wow, that is really, really good.
And again, you mentioned the Vietnamese that had those bitter melons
Yeah.
hanging. Well,
This is
here in
excellent.
America,
I'm gonna
our
finish
food system has somewhat commoditized things. So you look at all of our cucumbers; they're all pretty much the same. You go to different parts of the world, they look different.
Yeah.
But everything here in the U.S. has become somewhat standardized. So a watermelon should be red.
Right. That's what I
apple.
always thought it was.
An apple should be red.
Right.
But there's so many other things out there that the average American is not aware of, like a yellow watermelon.
That's amazing. I've never
or an
ever
eggplant
seen
like that.
I know, really.
Or some of these oddball color apples.
I feel like I've been like, I don't know much. It's incredible. I'm learning more at this show than I did the first show that we did. I mean, it's so much more, and it's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I eat very well in the summer. One's pepper.
No, thank you. They're good, though.
So this here is called a sweet cone pepper. We grow a lot of these in the greenhouses as well as in the field. And I like it because it's sweet. It's not a hot pepper.
Yeah.
But it's also, it colors, it starts as green.
Right.
And then turns to, in this case, orange or red. But it's a little bit smaller because the other thing I'm noticing is families are not as big as they used to be.
Right.
So to have a large watermelon or a big pepper like you see over there, well, a big pepper is good for a restaurant if you're chopping it up.
Right.
But if you're at home, well, you might be like, geez, it's only the two of us. I don't want to cut open that big pepper.
Really?
But you switch to some of these smaller varieties,
Yep.
and it makes it more personal size. So then you can enjoy that freshness, fresh cut,
Right.
rather than having to cut open that big pepper, use half of it, put the other,
And
in
it's not
saran
fresh
wrap or something like
anymore,
that, and
right.
it's not fresh anymore.
Personal vegetables. I think that's a good idea. That's incredible, man.
And you have our, your traditional size, larger cherry,
Yep.
cherry tomato, but I prefer the slightly smaller ones.
Yeah, the tiny ones.
Yeah, I think they're sweeter too.
Yeah. Question for you. Peppers, regular green peppers.
Mhm.
If you leave them on long enough, do they turn red?
The vast majority will. The most of them are bred so that they'll turn red.
Yeah.
Some will turn purple, some will turn yellow, some will turn orange. So it depends on the variety, but
Right.
the majority of them will turn red.
Because I've seen when I plant my gardens and go get my vegetables, I saw someplace where red pepper plants, and I'm saying red pepper plants. I thought, I mean, are they going to come out red, or are they going to come green and they turn red?
They'll start green.
So like a regular green pepper.
Correct.
Wow.
And it's usually on average about 3 weeks from the time it's nice and green to perfectly
Right.
red.
Wow. See?
Yeah. Just like this. I mean, you can see this one here was starting to.
Right,
It was
exactly.
green and it was shifting towards the orange.
Yeah.
We probably should have left this for a few more days to get it fully orange, but
No, it's still good. Wow.
And even the jalapeno peppers that we grow. I mean, those are, traditionally eaten green. If you leave it long enough, that will turn red.
Really?
Well, and just like you see here with the cherry bombs,
right?
I mean, that's off of the same plant.
Oh, okay.
It was green, and then it turns red.
Turns red.
Yeah. And honestly, a lot of Italians will come to us and they'll buy them by the box to, to pickle. And oftentimes they want a variety, a mixture of some red, some green.
Wow.
Looks like Christmas, doesn't it?
It does.
Maybe they eat them at Christmas.
Yeah, probably. Yep. Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. I love the way you grow your carrots grow. They grow all different sizes, different ways. I mean, are there different varieties of carrots?
There are, but most cases, carrots are grown and then they're sorted out. And if they're grown on a very large scale,
yeah,
they're going through a grading line. So the big ones go here, the medium ones go here, the small ones go here. The smaller ones get chopped up and diced.
Really?
But they really usually come out of the ground mixed.
Mixed.
Yeah.
I can never grow carrots because as soon as the tops came up, I want to pick it. And there's no carrots there. It's like a little thing like this. Okay.
Yeah, but you can have baby carrots. I mean, sometimes we do carrots.
But I was very impatient. Yeah. When I first started growing a garden, I started carrots. I said, I'm going to grow carrots.
Yeah.
And these little things come up, and I go, okay, they're almost ready to pick. I know they are. Yeah. Pull one, there's like, what the hell? There's a little thing like this there. It's like,
but carrots, similar to the apples now, I mean, we have them almost year-round. Almost.
Really?
I mean, we'll start harvesting carrots out of the field usually mid-July.
Yeah.
But, we have some late varieties that we're leaving in the field until some point in November. Then we harvest them, put them in storage.
Right.
We traditionally would bury them in a sand pit outside. So there was a good 2 feet of sand on top of it. So if it was a really cold winter, it wouldn't freeze.
Yeah.
But being in the sand, it maintained almost 100% humidity. So if it would rain or snow, the water would run through the sand.
Right.
But if there wasn't any rain, moisture tends to come up from the ground.
Right. Yep.
So we still store some of our carrots like that, but we also store them in those new controlled atmosphere storage bins that I mentioned in the refrigeration.
Right.
So we'll have carrots now right into June.
That's pretty.
From the previous year.
Really?
And then almost a month break before the next season's ready.
That is amazing. Dave, why don't you tell our listening, watching audience how to join and how to become a member?
Yeah, it's very easy. Here you can see our website. You go to farmerdaves.net and you find all the different information about our school tours, our CSA. You can also call the farm directly, 978-349-1952. And I mean, like I mentioned, we also have 3 different seasons. We have our spring season, our main season right now, which we're halfway through, but there's still another 10 weeks remaining. And then we have our late fall season, which is November, December. You can join one of those seasons or all 3. And we also have fruit included in our late fall season, and we have a fruit share going on right now as well with all the different fruits. And we try to give this nice variety every single week. With the vegetables, we have 2 different size shares in the main season. This box here is the size of our small share, and this yellow box here, I'm not sure if you can see it.
Yeah.
That's the size of our our regular size share. So it depends how much vegetables you want and fruit you want to eat.
Right. Yeah. That's amazing. And you get these vegetables. How often do you get these?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week. And with experience, you kind of learn to what to eat first and what to leave for later in the week.
Right. Right.
It works out very well.
That's nothing like fresh
Some people
vegetables.
will also ask for extras if they want to freeze some things. Sometimes we'll offer bonuses.
Right.
Sometimes they can buy an extra half a bushel of, donut peaches or something like
right.
that if they wanted to freeze some, or extra blueberries or extra squash to freeze.
Is it costly?
No, it's actually a lot of our members, not a lot, but some of them keep track of how much they spent at the supermarket. And then they start doing the CSA, and almost all of them find that they're saving a lot of money. It's on a weekly basis. It depends on which size box you get, somewhere between $20 and $35 a week for the vegetable shares. But I think if you think about it, $20 at the supermarket doesn't go that far.
And you don't get the freshness of these vegetables like this. No way.
But what we've done basically with this system is you're getting it direct from the farmer. So we're cutting out the middlemen
Right.
of the supermarket
Right.
and making a more efficient system.
Yep.
And again, we're growing to order. We know how many CSA members we're going
Right.
to grow for,
Right.
and we grow that amount.
And the way it's grown organically, I mean, you can't go wrong. It's very, very healthy for you.
Yep.
When you go to the market, you can buy organic vegetables or you can buy regular vegetables.
That's right.
And you think, okay, why is there just regular and organic? You know, why is this more expensive than this?
Exactly.
Because it's grown a different way.
Exactly.
Which is better for you.
And again, like I mentioned, we focus on the health of our soils.
Right.
You know, if you're not growing in a healthy soil, how can you even think of having a healthy food?
Right. Unbelievable.
So we'll do a lot of cover crops in the off season where we grow crops that actually feed the soil.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll grow crops and that will actually till into the soil that will help to make that soil much healthier. And we're always rotating our
I
crops.
was just going to ask you that, of course, rotate the crops because it takes the nutrition out
Different
of
crops.
this. Yeah.
Different crops take different nutrients out of the soil.
Yeah.
Different crops root systems go deeper than others.
Right.
So we know these things and we're always rotating accordingly.
Right. Wow.
So in this picture here, you can see this greenhouse is 300 feet long, and in this one, this side of it is 3 sections of the raspberries. Again, so that we can start harvesting raspberries 2 to 3 weeks earlier than we would otherwise.
Right.
And then we also have some in there that are tomatoes, and another section that's peppers to elongate that season.
That's incredible.
Yep.
You do a great job, Dave. I'd love to come see the place sometime.
Come on
I really,
over.
really would. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. Well, I think, do we have anything else to talk about?
No, I mean, if you're interested, like I mentioned, just go to farmerdaves.net. We're also here every Sunday at the North Andover Farmers
Farmers Market. Right. That's right.
Right here in the center of town.
So
10 o'clock in the morning it starts.
If
every
anybody
Sunday.
comes down to the Farmers Market, check out Dave's spot down there. All these great vegetables. I'm sure you'll enjoy them.
Yeah.
And become a member. You want fresh vegetables all the time, well, most of the year anyway, and more fresher than a market, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Come see Dave.
A lot of residents in North Andover also take advantage of our home delivery service. Mm-hmm. So the CSA share can be brought directly to their house.
That is unbelievable.
We
Good
also
for you.
have CSA pickup locations in Lawrence,
Right.
At Groundwork Lawrence, also at Merrimack College and at the YMCA. So
Excellent.
people can get our food many different ways.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Dave, thank you very much.
Jim, thanks for the
It's
time.
been great. I mean, really, very, very interesting. I'm sure a lot of people are going to check into the CSA and become a member. I bet you. You watch. You'll see that
good.
membership sky.
All right, eat well. We're making the community healthy.
And you're going to eat real healthy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. This is another episode of Around Town, and we will see you next time here on Around Town. Thank you.